Jesus turns and looks right at Peter. What must have that been like when he turns and expresses, I don't know, what was there? Anguish, pain, disappointment. Peter runs out and cries. Jesus has been denied. He's been betrayed. He's been deserted by everybody. He's been beaten. He's blooded. And he's sentenced to death. And here from Matthew's Gospel is what happens next. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the military compound, gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him, mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. And they spat on him. They took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe, put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. The pain then, you can imagine the pain, the humiliation. This was God in human flesh. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus some wine to drink, mixed with gall, but after tasting it, he refused to drink it. They crucified him. And when they crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. And sitting down, they kept watch over him. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him. "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads, saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you're the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the religious law, and the religious elders, they all mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross if we believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants to. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. From noon until around 3 PM, darkness came over the whole land. About 3 PM, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he breathed his last. Poignant words of Jesus from the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me?" There it seemed like even in his relationship with his Father is broken. And we Christians have come to believe, and I believe, that somehow in that forsakenness, when he was separated even from his Father, he was doing that instead of us. He was taking that break, as it were, that relationship for us, with us. My God, why have you forsaken me? Such amazingly powerful, heartfelt words. So I reckon that Jesus, the divine Son of God, suffers with us. I reckon that Jesus, the divine Son of God, suffers for us. We read in our Bibles that Christ never sinned, but God treated him as a sinner so as to make Christ acceptable to God. That in Christ we might be acceptable to God. It's wonderful. There's a kind of beautiful exchange going on there. Someone wrote, "At the cross in holy love, God through Christ paid the penalty of our disobedience himself. He bore the judgment," I love this, "he bore the judgment we deserve in order to bring us the forgiveness we don't deserve." He bore the judgment we deserve in order to bring us the forgiveness that we don't deserve.